Time for a rural roundup with Business Desk senior journalist Riley Kennedy. Riley, good morning.
Very good morning to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. Let's start with, you've got a piece out on supply of beef in the US and the market. There's a few things happening in the market there. What's the story?
Yeah, there's sort of like an age-old conversation in New Zealand that goes on, we've got too many processing plants. It's only a matter of time until another plant in New Zealand closes down. The last one that closed was Smithfield in Timaru, and probably coming up 18 months ago. And what happens is stock prices go up, the processor's got to procure it at a high price, they've got to kill it officially, and they've got to sell it at a high price. But it seems that is now the case in the US. Tyson Foods, which is the second biggest meat processor in the world, closed down a site in Nebraska which killed 5,000 cattle a day, which was about 5% of the US's daily cattle kill. For context, it's like some plants would be lucky to do 500 a week in New Zealand. So we're talking a really, really big scale. And it shows just how short the US are on cattle, which we're benefiting from because we're sending a whole lot of lean cuts up to the US, which then get mixed into hamburgers and stuff. But Tyson Foods said they just couldn't run this plant efficiently. They were losing $1.1 billion a year on their beef business. You put that into context, it's like $2 billion New Zealand. And it's like the revenue of one of our meat processors here.
Why are they all struggling so much? I mean, as you said, the price is high, so they have to buy their product at a more expensive, but then they can sell it higher too. So what gives?
Yeah, there's no point in having a plant there if you can't fill it. So you've got to compete. You know, if we're a meat processor, we've got to compete for that stock. You might say, well, I'll take that for that price, and you go higher, and then the bid's up. It just becomes incredibly inefficient. And if you can't get the supply, and the supply goes to you, then I'm then inefficient. You know?
Yeah, right.
So
I see.
it goes south pretty quickly.
Okay.
And it plays out here in New Zealand all the time.
Speaking of consolidation, we've got some of that happening in the wool industry.
Yeah, there's the wool industry, as we know, has struggled for quite a long time. There's quite a bit of optimism actually in the industry at the moment. Strong wool prices are over $5 at the moment. But that's sort of tight supply and various other things that are going on there. But PGG Wrightson's wool did run an auction in Napier and Christchurch. They're going to consolidate that down to Christchurch, just have a single national auction. They say that it's a sensible decision to make, and everyone in the industry thinks it is sensible. No one's going to lose their job from this. So and then it sort of comes after Wool's New Zealand and PGG Wrightson's had worked together to sort of find a way to be a bit more efficient. And now Wool's of New Zealand have said late last night actually they're going to go down to a single national auction as well. But the single national auction is going to happen in Christchurch, which sort of makes sense because there's an international airport there, efficient to get them in and out of the country, the buyers in and out of the country. Napier, you sort of got to transit through Auckland, I suppose, or up through Wellington. So it's just a more efficient place to do it.
Logistically makes sense. Now, it looks like the mainland Fonterra deal looks like it might be going to happen sooner than we thought.
Yeah, the official line out of Fonterra basically all of last year was it would happen in the first half of this year. It's understood that Lactalis put quite a bit of pressure on Fonterra to get the deal done, to the point where their boss told Miles Hurrell over dinner in Paris that because he ruined the European summer negotiating the deal, he was going to ruin his summer in New Zealand to get the deal done. So now they're saying they've made good progress on that, and it's probably going to be the first quarter of this year. So it could happen essentially within.
Why the rush? Why do they want it to be done so quickly? Just,
I guess when you're paying $4.2 billion for something, you don't want that. You
don't want to wait. Fair enough. All right, Riley, nice information as always. Thank you. Riley Kennedy, who's Business Desk senior journalist.